Wiggins, who got off to a hot start for the Warriors. Warriors would build a 19-point lead. This is one thing to pay attention to with Golden State. They do turn the ball over. George down the lane and down the hatch. See if Morris can retaliate. Leaves it short, and Curry has the flat-footed rebound. Golden State, one of the best first-quarter teams in the league. Wiggins' jump shot is short. Paul George has the loose ball for the Clippers.
Shooters are out on the court, be in a position to ultimately contest like we saw on that play.
George tries to pass back to Bledsoe, and the two teams swap turnovers. Wiggins, a high riser, gets out and flushes it in. Bring it back outside, look to reshuffle the deck, and now deal it into George. A double lurking in the paint. George backing down on Curry. Strip, loose ball taken by Poole. George attacking. Those are the turnovers. It is a dead ball turnover, but the Clippers have got to protect the basketball.
Kennard averages nearly 10. So does Terrence Mann. There's another Warrior turnover. Paul George taking it to Draymond, and Wiggins knocked it away.
George trying to post on Green. Great contest by Green. Better offense by Paul George. That is not an easy shot.
Don't stay on the three-point line if you don't have to.
Can't play Paul George any better than that, but those are the shots he does make.
Serge Ibaka out there for the first time after Ivica Zubac gave you wonderful minutes. Kennard, the drive of the dish. Paul George, the catch, but can't convert. George comes to a screeching halt. Tries to play a two-man game with Bledsoe. Another turnover, the 9th already for the Clippers.
You know, he said this season's been a big difference for him in terms of being more vocal, watching guys like Draymond Green, obviously Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, something, especially for a team with a lot of soft-spoken guys, to become a bigger voice. You know, he said this season's been a big difference for him in terms of being more vocal, watching guys like Draymond Green, obviously Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, something, especially for a team with a lot of soft-spoken guys, to become a bigger voice.
Clippers have led by as many as 7. No one has looked great, but they've tied up the score now here in the second frame. George shoots over the top of Chioza, misses. Rebound once again, back tap, but into the ready hands of Andrew Wiggins. George on the switch, greeted by Bielitsa, gets deep into the paint and lays it in.
There's no need to double Bielitsa in that position. That just opened up that backdoor opportunity for the Warriors.
George taking matters into his own hands. Down the lane, misses point blank, but Ivica Zubac able to tap it in.
And that question you ask yourself is because Golden State loves to play small, which puts Zizou, like in that situation, in a disadvantage. But again, another missed layup by Steph Curry.
And again, 7 of 9 the Clippers are from the free throw line. First trip for Paul George. And he knocks down the first of 2, ties up the score. Found some great pieces. You mentioned it earlier a few days ago. They've just found smart players that fit the system. Yep. Bledsoe in handcuffs after picking up his dribble. Finds George, picked up by Wiggins. Rises from 20. All cotton for Paul George. Starting to warm up. He credit at times as well to this #1 ranked defense in the league in the Golden State Warriors, as Paul George goes to the stripe for a couple of here to break the tie. The Warriors are the best team in the league at protecting the rim in the sense of the fewest shots allowed at the iron. Again, not a lot of movement here for the Clippers. George attacking and then loses the ball. 12 giveaways for the Clippers. And the Warriors draw first blood here in the second half. Good ball movement for the Clippers. George attacks and knocks it down. 14 for Paul George.
Yeah. Got like the fact that Paul didn't settle for a 3. Kind of got 2 feet in the lane and scored that basket. Let's see if get another positive possession right here. That basket. Let's see if get another positive possession right here. Secondary transition and just.
George, a good contest by Wiggins, ultimately blocked Curry the other way. Sidesteps George. Fakes the pass, delivers it on point behind the back to Green.
This is where PG has to make a statement right here on the offensive end. Get a basket.
And the ball knocked out of bounds. Nice touch by the Warriors.
Gives us an opportunity to make something special happen when we're that far down in regards to the turnover margin. So gives us an opportunity to make something special happen when we're that far down in regards to the turnover margin. So, is he still around?
55-44. Again, a pivotal moment, and now a whistle and a foul will go on Paul George, his second in 7 seconds.
As far as the technical goes, and, you know,
Zoo's been in the lane for a minute, goes to the rim with the left hand and lays it in. Maybe got away with 3 seconds. We're not complaining. Ivica Zubac now 8 points and 8 rebounds. If you would have told me the Clippers would have 17 turnovers here in the third quarter and they only trail now by 5, I'd say, where do you sign? Mark only trail by 5. The door has been open for the Clippers. Paul George tries to crash through a pair of defenders, works it up top to Bledsoe for 3.
Be definitive in your offensive actions. Be confident in what you're doing. Get some stops. You get yourself back in this game. Anthony down 2.
Wiggins, no. Paul George, a bear hug rebound. Clipper. After going 1 for 6, they've hit their last 3 shots here the third quarter. George, the drive and the dish, and that is turnover number 7 on George. Poole races back the other way, and Bledsoe, his head on a swivel, feeds to George. Transition 3, halfway down, rebound back tap, but a whistle and a foul will be called against the Clippers. George into the paint, finds an open Terrence Mann, a catch and shoot 3, book it, and the Clippers cut the lead in half, 60-57. It's a 5-point swing. George hesitates for a moment, picked up by Wiggins. Fades, fires, fills it up 17 for Paul George, and now in the previous 2 games, George picked up by Poole. And that's back-to-back buckets for Paul George. He has 19. 67-63. Clippers just trying to hang around here and find a little momentum offensively. They got to slow down Draymond Green. A whistle and a foul will go to the line for 2. Trail by just 6, all things considered. Hartenstein gets free inside to the rim with a left hand. Counted on a foul and send that young man to the line for the old-fashioned 3-point. But I like that Poole has erupted with 14 total points, and the Warriors now lead 72-66. George retaliates. Oh, book it! Dueling banjos here in downtown LA. Time to shoot. They will trail going into the fourth quarter. Can they cut the lead down? George misses. Rebound goes to Golden State. Poole, why not? The heave ahead of the horn. Hits the backboard. No, it was Chiozza guards George. And now George goes to work. Hit 4 of his last 5 shots in the third quarter. Misfires there. George drives on Wiggins, steps away from the basket. Oh, flings in a tough shot from 20. Paul George now with 24. 89-74. You can see Bledsoe greeting Curry the second it gets across the logo. Clippers get the miss. George with the rebound. George, no. Bledsoe comes out of nowhere. The smallest player on the floor for the rebound. George relocates in the corner for 3. Here we go. George, no. Bledsoe comes out of nowhere. The smallest player on the floor for the rebound. George relocates in the corner for 3. Here we go. I believe he's made his last 3 from that corner. And Steve Kerr went out of his way to mention how he's a two-way player. Can defend the wings and, of course, can score. As George knocks down the triple, 98-80.